Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everybody. First order of business, I don't know if we say one or we just is or number 2 is elect the chairperson for the coming school year. So, who would like to be the chairperson this year?
You're not raising your hand, right?
So a little history, I've done it the last 3 years. You just strengthen the board, let other people try that if someone chooses to or wants to.
If you don't want it, I will do it, but you're doing an awesome job.
I'm fogging up here.
So hot.
Corey, do you have anything?
I think you're doing a great job also.
Annie, you ready for a change? You doing good? No comment?
Sounds like that's a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Darwin?
So my only thought is, as you coming in as a new board of commissioner, obviously these meetings are really short, but I would have no problem with Dustin running as chair this year.
Okay.
I'm not sure what your intentions are moving forward, either of you, but I'm good either way.
My intentions are to stay on the board for a while longer. I certainly don't need to be the chair, but I don't plan to get off the board. It seems like I just got voted on not too long ago.
It's only a couple of you longest ones.
So, but if you guys are ready for a change, I can make a nomination for Dustin to be the chair.
Now, I'm just saying, I'm willing to do it. But if you don't think it's gonna be an issue with being on the commissioners, then I'm fine with you staying.
Well, I have checked into it and really not aware of any conflicts. I talked with Ann Crumrine when she used to be on the board and as treasurer. She says there's really not any conflicts either. So.
I don't see any unless there is a direct county and school issue that comes up and you need to recuse yourself on both sides of the.
Right.
I think what I'm getting at is workload.
Yeah.
Chair versus commissioners. Obviously, the commissioner's probably gonna take precedence over the non-paying job. So they don't matter.
I guess what I would propose, guys, is that this be my last year as chair, if I were to do it again, one more year. And then definitely have a new chair next year. But if you guys are ready for a new chair now, that's totally fine with me and it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. So I made it.
I'm good, and I've been on here for 6 years, so I'm willing to help out however need be. So I'm good either way.
Well, I'll make a nomination for Dustin to be the chair. See if there's a second.
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to elect Dustin as chair. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Okay. Dustin is the chair. We'll switch spots.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Well, this may be my last year on the board, so there you go.
You get to be the next first official.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, then. I can't speak with this thing. So what are we on to elect vice chair? Do we have a nomination for vice chair?
I made the first nomination.
Anybody have an interest?
I don't have a problem filling in. I think that I'm to most of the meetings if you guys need to.
Annie said she.
Okay.
Corey or Darwin? Anybody got a nomination or Barry?
I'll nominate Annie Button as vice chair.
Okay, Annie Button's been nominated vice chair. Do we have a second? Darwin seconded. So it's been moved and seconded to elect Annie Button as the vice chair. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All right, motion so moved. Congratulations, Annie.
Congratulations.
Okay, so down to approval amendment of meeting agenda items.
Who thinks that might be done?
I move to approve the agenda item for July 8th.
It's Corey.
We got a
Was I
second.
talking over the top of Corey? I didn't mean to.
No, I haven't said anything.
Oh, okay. So
Okay,
I move to approve the agenda item for July 8th, 2020, as presented.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the meeting agenda items for July 8th, 2020 as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion passed. Moving on, approval of minutes. And that would be the minutes for June 24th.
I move to approve the minutes of June 24th.
Okay, so I got Darwin moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Corey seconded. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from June 24th, 2020 as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion passed. Okay, maybe Corey, if you can mute for us, that'll take some of the feedback away, please. Thank you. All right, correspondence.
I just, it really delayed today. Like you guys keep freezing up and then I talk and go away, so I don't know, I must not have very good internet today.
We're just practicing our robot moves here. Okay, correspondence.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we have a nice thank you note from Will Cahill, former superintendent. And thank you for your kindness. He says, "Dear LSCD number 7 board and Tandy, thank you so much for the last board meeting tribute to my retirement. Your thoughtfulness was greatly appreciated. Very best to all of you in the future. Sincerely, Will Cahill."
Very nice, thank you. Okay, moving on, public comment. Not seeing any. Okay, reports. Teacher mentor program.
So we got approval for the teacher mentor program out of Lewis and Clark. So they're gonna actually have it, so we'll be able to bring that in to our district. And this will allow us to use that for professional development units, and we'll work with the principals, those assigned mentors, and all the new teachers then will be required to go through that. So as part of their professional growth plan. We got a discounted rate because we don't charge them for the instruction. So I get guest instructors. I use Lane and Susan and others to help teach it. I even have Janet's going to teach a section on finance to help out with the people understand how finances work for school districts. And then what we'll do is that program is 7 classes. They'll get 2 semester units, and it's $800, which is very drastically reduced. So it will be in person and also online, so that way we can get the best of both worlds. So pretty excited about that.
Excellent. How many, teachers do we feel like are gonna be going through that coming?
Well, at least 6 new ones. So you figure that, and then probably a couple mentors, because that way it's a lot of the people, we don't want that expertise of theirs to go away. So we want them to be mentors. So it's gonna be great for them to come in, and it'd be great. It's a rejuvenation for everybody. And it's really exciting. It's a great opportunity for the administrators and myself to get to know everybody in the district as well, because I get to run the course.
Awesome.
Great, thank you. COVID-19 update and plan.
So I'll let Tanny jump in there. She's going to be one of my, she's a major assistant of mine. So we have a lot of work there. She was in the meeting with me yesterday. They included all the superintendents and major players from the districts. Some of them have curriculum directors and others. So what we did, we heard different plans to fit us, fit our particular needs, and then we have Susan's plan is outstanding, by the way, compared to others. I almost submitted that, but I didn't want to do that yet because I want to make sure that everyone sees it. But what we're looking at is some very unique, creative ideas to make sure that our students are provided as many opportunities as possible. Our number one choice, of course, is to have school regular session and do everything normal. But Tanny and I were there. We had all the way from very unique plans where people were coming only doing 1 or 2 classes at a time, and then coming every 5 weeks. So that was the most unique. A lot of districts are leaning towards the A/B schedule, so they can for buses. That's the biggest thing in food service, is to keep the social distancing requirements in the plan. So we'll have more details for the plan. I was able to meet with Jeff as well, so we were able to talk about that. Legally, the board will just be an advisory role on that one because you really don't want you to have any liability. So
If you guys step into a day-to-day operations, you guys start becoming personally liable because you're no longer in the legislative, and because it's related to COVID-19, there is no PACE coverage. So it's safer you guys can provide some input, but it has to be at the legislative level, at your guys' level, and not on an operational basis.
So we wanted to mention that to the board. We're not trying to cut the board out of it, just the opposite. But we want to make sure, though, that we're not going to be asking for a resolution or anything, because that would put the board in jeopardy. I will never do that. And that's what's nice to have an attorney. So him and I met to take care of that. The basic summary, though, is we're also having a lot of our parents who are really concerned with what's going to happen, and also some of them are looking at homeschooling and things like that. Well, we work with the Coalition of Oregon School Administrators and with the ODE. So we have Pearson now, and that's the same thing that all of the homeschool and all of the charter school curriculum's using. So that's going to be like a freebie for us to get our teachers trained on that. So then we'll use our Google platform and others. So we don't want to drive in front of our headlights. So we're going to have a really good plan, but we're also going to make sure that we accommodate. And so we're looking at an online option as well. And if we don't offer that, we're going to lose some students. And if we lose 40 students, we can pay for 1 or 2 teachers with that. So it's very important. Also, too, we got to acknowledge people's fears out there. I've met with many people, and most of mine is not an official survey, but at Safeway, at a garage sale, and other places, I meet some people and ask them about it. I met some ESD, children at the ESD yesterday, and they're concerned. Everyone's concerned. I had a couple parents call, and Tanny's been with me on some of those calls. We're trying to ask them to give us time. So I know there's people out there who are looking for homeschooling options and all that. We want to be a partner. We want to make sure you understand that this is your school, this is your community, and this is what we can offer our kids. So we're going to work really hard to make sure that we offer rigor and also offer safety to make sure that our students are taken care of at all levels. So we will have a lot more for you next month, but it's very important that you get that. Tandy, was there anything else I missed? Good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any other questions the board may have on our process?
It'd be a great system.
Is there any thought process?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Corey.
Is there any process about the PACE insurance and if there's going to truly be an alternative to it? And can we actually go back to class in any format without the PACE insurance?
Great question. So all the districts are in the same place like that right now. I know the legislatures are going to be taking some action on that in the next 2 weeks when the governor calls a special session. This is one of the things on the docket for them. So I think we're going to see that happening. We're not going to be the only one asking the same question. We're also in the same boat. And I think that puts some huge pressure on our insurance coverage.
And I believe it's probably going to be in the form of a qualified immunity or something like that, where as long as we're following best practices and we have an approved plan, as long as we're within it, not grossly negligent or something like that, we're immune from liability would be my guess is how they'll have to do that. Or the state will have to create a risk pool statewide for this COVID thing. So it'll probably be one of those two flavors, but the simplest one for them to do, and the one I suspect they will do, will be just like, if you're on a public park, there's not liability for some of those type of activities there. I think they'll probably just make that the claims barred, would be my idea. But the legislature may have something even more creative out there, but that's most likely, reading the tea leaves, what it's gonna look like.
So far, that's what I hear, and appreciate that help. And then also too, working with Jeff, we were able to work out our volunteer situation. Under the current plan, we're not able to do volunteers. So, and he did some homework for us today. We got a real nice form here. So we'll have Tandy set that out to the board in our packet, and we'll get that. So that way, I know Susan, and she'll get her plan, talk a little bit about it, but she needs volunteers, and a lot of people want to volunteer. Also, a lot of parents will alleviate some of their fears if they're able to volunteer. So we got some pretty creative ways to handle that. So we'll get more details to you, but we really appreciate Jeff's work on that. That helped us out a great deal. Also, too, I met with Janet, and her and I talked about getting back for care. So we're going to be looking at some billing for that in the future, try to get back as much money. Lake County hasn't done that yet, and we're going to have to really jump on that because we're afraid if we don't get on it soon, we could lose that money because it could all be gone. So that's what we're doing for there. Met with Quinn and some others, and we have some things going through to buy some of the signs and just keep social distancing. Some real nice visuals for our staff and for our students. So we have some pretty creative stuff going there. We also ordered some masks. Janet and I talked about that today, and I forget the vendor. She always tells me, but I forget the vendor's name. I apologize. But the vendor, we're going to try 100 of those, and they got up a little over $2 a piece, the cloth ones, and that way we can wash them and give some out that way. We got shields and other things we'll be ordering, but we'll get that as we go to the plan. We'll keep the board there. We might have to that at one of our special work sessions so you understand it. But like Jeff said, we got to make sure we're in compliance. Otherwise, we could jeopardize and put ourselves in liability, and that's what we don't want to do. Number one, though, to me is, I know liability is always important. Number one for me is safety. Once we take care of the safety part, the liability seems to follow. So, is there any other questions? Janet, did I cover that correctly?
No, but your vendor is Alco.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Thank you. I knew I would get it. She keeps telling me another one, and I heard another one, so I'm trying to get it right. So what?
Juniper.
Juniper's the other one. I'm learning that one. I remember that one because that's the water sucking tree, so I know that
Yep.
one. So I apologize. Any other questions from the board?
Juniper is, oh,
Any other questions from the board on that? Thank you all very much, everybody. It's a big team effort, and I want to thank all the team I get to work with. We're doing all we can to make it happen.
Great, thanks for that report. Building principals report.
I'll step up and take lanes real quick. Fishing was not very good yesterday, but it's better today. So I'm done with the high school principals report.
Seriously, you're all done?
Yes, ma'am, I'm all done. Lane
Okay.
and I meet next week, and I told him to take some time off, and I have a surprise to you here, but Susan took some time off, which I'm proud of her doing that, and we meet tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm glad Lane's getting some time off too. And I saw his car there already once in July the other day, so it's good to see everybody, even though we are virtual. I haven't been in the buildings for a few days, but on June 30th, Michael and I toured all of the elementary buildings and just gave him a little more familiarity with his facilities. We went out to Union, poked around a little bit, and then we toured some of the current maintenance projects that are going on, just so that he could have a visuals when he talked to Janet and to the maintenance staff. Hay was almost done with the north hallway. The south and the east hallways are all painted a tan color. It isn't perfect, but it is clean and it is bright and different and not blue, and so I'm excited about that. Before I left, we worked on a tentative plan for on-site and hybrid for students coming back in the fall. I'll be interested to see what our survey results come back as, what our community supports and what they don't. I heard today that band K5 is going back in the fall on-site full-time. So it's encouraging that other schools are taking those steps forward. I have a little bit of hiring left to do. So I'm hoping for a few more applicants. I've got 2 positions at Union and a few in town. I've assembled a leadership team to review plans and work on scheduling and just logistical things at the building level towards the 3rd or 4th week in July, and they're ready to go on that. And like Michael said, we meet tomorrow to just do a little bit of catch up and see what I can help out with off and on or be ready to do when I get back. So, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
I think the big thing we're still waiting to hear from is hiring teachers at the high school, right?
Yes, we're working on that. And the mentor program is one of the things that a lot of new teachers have been asked when they come out of the university program, they ask about the mentor program. So that's going to be one of our new selling points, say that we got that.
Excellent, thank you. Moving on, superintendent report.
Well, I have a few things, so I'll just go through them rather quickly, just let you know. I try to get the Friday update up. You'll get a new one coming up. Some of it will be redundant. We'll have some new additions. But gym floor, new dimensions. I'm a facilities weirdo, so I've already found some problems. So I called them, and they're going to try to work it out with us, take pictures and send it to them. Because a couple areas where they did some bubble at Unions, a couple bubbling spots, and I don't like that. So we can do a better job with the floor. So the guy said he'll make it right, and we have a very good relationship. Janet's done a real good job with them. With new dimensions out of Eugene, so I met with them today on the phone, and we'll get that taken care of. But I want to make sure you know what we're doing with that one. A couple of the spots in the middle school I can live with because they're off the side, but the one by the key I want something done. We'll figure it out. But I want to make sure you're on that one. Gate safety, Susan and I and Janet all has that worked out. So Janet and them has it worked out. So we got the bids. We're going to be doing that soon. So the gate safety there. We have the library carpet is coming in. So work with Travis. I'm with Quinn, and that's worked out real well, and Janet, so they'll be coming up from Alturas here, and they're going to be working on that in the next couple of weeks. We'll get that floor completely done, so we're very excited about that. And I want to kudos to Susan and her staff. They've done a great job moving that library and all that, and the maintenance staff. You know, I'm really pleased. I meet with them in the morning, and I'm just really excited. And Janet's done a good job keeping them moving, and we're going to take them to the next level. So we're trying to get very targeted. That means it said we have 3 summer students workers, and I've checked on them multiple times. They're afraid of me a little bit, which is not a bad thing, because I want to teach them that this is a responsible work, and they're representing the district. Also with the mask program, all of our staff, are not mowing with masks, but when they go into any building or office representing the district, they will put on the mask to follow protocols to make sure that gets out there. I want to tell everyone I feel really welcome. It's been wonderful. I can't tell you. I have no problem coming to work. 6:30, I'm here. I get goosebumps. I've never felt so rejuvenated in a long time. So thank you for the opportunity, and I feel really good with our team. CARE dollars, already mentioned that to you. I also want to mention that Janet and I met a couple hours today, and this is the 13th month, so there's not much for us financial report. She won't have much to say here tonight. But we're not trying to hide anything from anybody. We're on the same page, and we're looking at protocols, procedures, and trying to make sure we make things as streamlined as possible. But things are really solid. We just want to make sure that we move forward as we're able to get things more easily accessible for everyone. I mentioned honker card to a couple of the board members. So I'm working with Pacific Crest Credit Union. We want to they're great partners for our school district. So we're trying to get them to come up with a special honker card. So you can, if you have an account there, you can use your debit card or credit card, and that will kick back 5 cents back to extracurricular activities for our entire district. So that's a pretty nice thing. It's also a real nice spirit building thing for us. So we're working on that. They're meeting with their executive director next week. She's coming in, so we'll try to work on that. We want to give them first dibs. Hopefully they're able to do it. They've not done anything like that before, but they're pretty excited. So it looks pretty similar. We've done this in some other districts, and it turns out that 7 other districts followed suit. In my last district, we had the special cards, so ours would be white and blue, and then have the fighting honkers there. So it'd be kind of nice. And then it's really nice when you other businesses join suit and they say, "Come bring your honker card," and you get a discount for the pizza or something after a game. So that's pretty exciting. So we're working on that, and if they don't do it, we'll look at someone else. But we really want to give them the first dibs as a local bank, to keep it local. So that's it on that part. Community survey. We're still having issues. We're working with Evan and everyone, and Janet will get that survey out. I was hoping to get out this week, but it's probably going to be early next week because we're trying to figure out the best way to get all the information out and get it to everyone. And that way we have some hard data so we can make our community plan based on that. We have a community yard sale for all of our surplus. So it's one of the projects we worked with our maintenance crew and Janet. We got surplus there. So we're going to go below the building, daily building, and we'll take all that out of there. And we have a very good plan for that, and that's on August 8th. So we're going to set it out on the 7th. We're gonna let the principals look at it one last time to make sure that there's not something they could use in their building. And then we're gonna sell everything from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So there'll be a lot of information going out in the paper on that. We're gonna invite people to come out. We have a lot of things we wanna do. We wanna clear out some of the storage because in our plan, if we have to empty out some of the furniture to fit some of the needs to keep the social distancing, we need to have a place to put some of that furniture and not lose it. Also, we have a lot of stuff that I just use it as stuff. I won't use the word junk, but one person's junk is another man's treasure. So we have a lot of treasures out there that we're hoping to share with our community on August 8th. So we're pretty excited about that. We also are going to paint hay. So we're working on that now. So that's working on that. We started that. The paint's order is coming, and then we ordered that through the hardware store. So we'll be painting that coming up the next couple of weeks. So to freshen it up, and it fits really well with Susan's work inside all her volunteer stuff. So that way it'd be a nice facelift there. We're also going to be looking at some of the poles outside the high school, paint some of those blue and gold, and also we're going to spruce up the honker emblem out in front of the building, just to get us something to let people know that we're starting to make our plan and go from there. So that's it on that part for me. Any questions about those things? Okay, appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you. Okay, old business. Nope, not seeing any.
No, sir.
Okay.
Nothing to say.
And new business, not seeing any.
No, all we have is the lighting coming on. The people are coming in the next 10 days. When they come through, they're gonna hit Klamath Falls, they're gonna hit us, and then we're gonna tie it into the people we heard today. So hopefully it'll be nice for the Energy Trust, so we can look at getting some of our lights done throughout the district. It's a long process, but they will come in and give us the bonding for that. That's pretty good. And also too, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, may I go back a second? One of the new business things too is Janet was able to get an email from one of the other districts that are putting together a bonding of our PERS. So we'll have to explain that to everybody. And I think, Janet, that was Baker, I think is what you told me. Is that correct?
Yeah, Baker School District.
Okay, so if we get 20 school districts, and I'm not gonna go through all of it tonight, Mr. Chairman, but just to give you a heads up on this, what will happen is we can bond our PERS, and that can save us on the debt. So if the debt's 17%, anywhere from 14 to 17%, or it could be higher, we can borrow that money at 3 to 5%. Right now, what we saw from Baker was at 3.5%. That could save us a huge amount of money, and that's a couple $100,000 a year. So we appreciate Janet getting on that. We're gonna be working that. We'll bring that to the board. It's a long, laborious process, but when they sell the bonds, that debt, it will save our district substantially. So thanks, Janet, for being proactive on that one.
Thank you. So we're down to
Sure.
consent agenda.
I'm going to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion passed. Next, announcements.
We have none, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I would say one thing here in announcements, as Barry pointed out, and I didn't do a very good job of thanking him, but I'd say thank you for your, 3 years of chairmanship. You did a great job of leading us, not always the easiest task, so thank you.
Yes, thank you, Barry.
You bet. Great working with everybody. Keep doing it.
Okay, so then we're down to, next board meeting agenda item. So I have, policy updates, JGAVAR and CC, and then goals and evaluation discussion, set a date.
Set a date, yeah. And Mr. Chairman and board members, right now, COVID is it's taken over all of our lives and everything, and also transition. So we would like to look at the dates, for the training, for the superintendent, setting goals. If you're okay with it, I'd like to postpone that a couple months, that way we can make it more efficient and more realistic. Because right now we'd be shooting in the dark, and it's just not gonna be something we can measure. But if the board's okay with that, I'd like to move forward.
Okay, yep.
And also, Mr. Chairman, in the future agenda items, I wouldn't mind adding our COVID plan.
Okay.
Return back to school.
And then do we also need to discuss the, board, superintendent training through
That's what I'm
OSBA.
talking about, training,
Okay.
yeah, the OSBA training, we're talking about making it probably September, October, if you're okay with it, I know, you
You
know.
guys remember that email I sent out from Renee Sessler? She was wanting to do it right away.
What?
We talked to
Yeah, I
her.
remember.
We'd like to push it back to during the school year. If that works for you guys.
Sounds great, won't mess up my
And
birthday
you
plans.
Okay.
Well, good. Thank you very much for that leniency. I think it will help me a lot too. That way, it's hard to make a goal when I really don't understand the district and I don't understand what you need. But I think the COVID might dictate a lot of our goals. Our goal might be just simple, get us kids back in school.
Okay, anything else for the next board meeting agenda? Board have anything? Okay. Moves us down to adjournment.
I moved to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
All right.
I
Aye, motion passed.